So as far we have gone through the class hierarchy of the exceptions, now we will talk about how to use the multiple catch. As you can see out here, my friend, we are only using one catch block. But this is a superclass, means the exception is a superclass, and all the subclasses, that is the array index out of bound, index out of bound, string array index out of bound, and many others, mail from URL exceptions, these all are the subclass of exceptions. When you are not sure what type of exception is going to be occur, you can use the parent class. But if you use the parent class, that means the main exception class, you cannot add other catch blocks. For example, here we know that this line of code is going to throw the arithmetic exception. So what you can do out here, instead of writing exception, you can write down here directly the arithmetic exceptions, and here by using E means this is an object of arithmetic exceptions. What you can do, you can display the message, the type of message that occur. So here you can use here get the localized message. So here it will display the message, or directly get the message, get the stack trace, and lot more methods available here. So if I try to print something like e dot get message, you can see it will display, it will return a string. And what you can do, you can simply here use system.out.println, and here you can just display everything in a println. Now point to be noted here, we are using arithmetic exception. So if you can add multiple catch. For example, suppose if you are not sure that this is going to be an arithmetic exception, you can add one more catch. For example, if I try to add a catch, see, you can add multiple catch. Let's say I'm supposing this is going to be the null pointer exception. So you can use null pointer exceptions that E. What is the null pointer exceptions? Null pointer exceptions are the most common exception is the most common exception, and it is basically occur whenever you are creating an object and your object is not initialized. That means it is pointing to the null memory. So what you can do out here, you can use null pointer exception, and you can simply use a e.print stack trace. So it will directly print the stacks, means what exactly the error occur. And you can, in this way, you can create a series of catch blocks. But if you are using directly the catch, that is we can say here the exception here, so what will happen, you will get an error. Why? Because the exception is the superclass. So the exception itself has a capability to handle any kind of exceptions. So that means the child classes are no more useful in this case scenario. So what you can do, if you're using an exception directly, you don't need to go with the other type of exceptions. You can directly use the arithmetic exception. One more point out here when we go through a lot of tutorials later on, I'm going to get a lot of exceptions later on. So suppose if you're not sure that your exception is not going to be handled by any one of the catch statement, even though if you can say the exception class itself, you can use a finally. Finally block will run finally, means whether the exception occur or whether the exception not occur, the finally is definitely going to run. So for example, if I print here println like this, and let's say in finally, now what is going to be happen, suppose if I change the value of C, so here the no exception is going to be occur. Why? Because X and Y values are the numerical value, are the non-zero value. So when I run it, let's see whether the finally is going to run or not. So you can see in finally is always been going to run. Why? Because there is a reason. Suppose you are dealing with the database, and to create a database you have created an object of that particular database class or any network class. So what is going to be happen in this case scenario, we need to close the connection. Somewhere somehow you may forget to close the connection. So what you can do, you can use a finally block to close the connections, to make the null the value that you have initialized, so that you can get rid of the memories and all. So this is about the try and catch. In the next chapter we will talk about the throw. So means how you can throw the exception so that it can be handled by the methods and other. So we'll continue in the next chapter.